friends, this is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and if you have been paying attention, you saw that recently my website, which I don't promote very often because I don't post very often, just got a huge guest blogger. And this is enormous, guys, because my this guest blogger is no longer with us. He is Ghost Scotty. And somehow he was able to communicate with me from beyond as one with the Force. And he posted this website on my this post on my blog. And what was interesting about this is it goes through and it lists what this post does. Is it goes through and lists 10 of these Star Wars Clone Wars characters that if we don't get is going to be a huge missed opportunity for the fellows over at Capital Games and for this game in general. And it was interesting is as I was going through this, I completely agree with everything. And I wanted to make a video on it. One, to just promote it because it's a great read. But two, to talk about this. The devs have said, hey, we're gearing up for content for episode 7, episode 8. And as cool as that is, they told us that we would get sick of the Clone Wars, that we would be as sick of the Clone Wars as we are, or as we were of KOTOR. And I agree with Scotty in the post when he says, we're not there. Now, I don't necessarily want to, talk about the characters that he talked about, but one of the things that I want to focus on is before we move on, we need some major things to happen to this game. And first and foremost, we need some really solid reworks for some of the Jedi. Now, the Jedi used to be the most powerful faction in the game, but this was years ago, and they're a solid group. I don't think that the Jedi should be as powerful as some of the Sith we have in-game, simply because the Jedi fell to the Sith. Now, granted, the Sith we have in the game are not necessarily the Sith that we have currently, or not the Sith that took them out in canon. But, I mean, if you look at Aayla Secura, if you look at Eth Koth, General, or Imagundai, and Kit Fisto, Luminar to some extent, and Mace Windu. These are all Jedi that need to be reworked, that need to be phenomenal. I would love to see Qui-Gon Jinn have some love sent to him, because let's face it, guys, Qui-Gon Jinn in canon is amazing, and he's a wonderful character, one of the best developed characters in all of Star Wars canon. And if you guys read Master and Apprentice, it is a powerful story. I listened to it and it was cool because if you listen to it on audiobook, you get to hear it, and you got the guy who's reading it doing a very, very good impression of Qui-Gon. Very solid. But he is one of my favorite characters. And in the game, he's good. And he's had some solid stuff. I think he needs a solid rework, guys. Those Jedi alone could use a phenomenal rework. And keeping in mind, if the light side territory battle is tuned towards relics, no one's going to want to relic some of these Jedi. And that is going to make it that much more difficult without a rework. Now, at the making of this video, there is or should be a road ahead post coming within the next week, within the next 2 weeks. They did say sometime in the middle of November is when they're going to actually launch it. That was their goal, or their most updated goal. So it's very possible that we could be getting this stuff, and they're just finalizing the last of what they're going to be doing to these characters, kind of fine-tuning them. But those characters need a solid rework. Now, I hesitate to say that more of the characters, more of the Galactic Republic needs to be fleshed out, because there's a lot of stuff that, I don't know, I just don't see. There's a lot there for Galactic Republic. It is one of the most, if not the largest faction in the game. Now, Do they need more clones? They absolutely need more clones. I will give away one spoiler. I agree with Force Ghost Scotty when they says that one of the biggest misses is Clone Sergeant not being Clone Sergeant / Heavy. We've considered this character Heavy, one of the characters from the Star Wars Clone Wars universe. He was a 501st, if I'm not mistaken, and part of the reason why I think we're not getting him as a member of the 501st is simply because it would be too powerful. It would be difficult to then choose between which character you are going to use. If he's not going to be a 501st, then you can use him in a few other areas. But as such, with this, it feels wrong. But I still feel like he needs it. I still feel like he needs the name change. I don't think that we're going to get it. Now, if you jump over to the Separatists, they've done a really good job at building these characters out. They've done a really good job at fleshing them out. But there are still a few Separatists that we need. Now, the one thing that I think that both Separatist and Galactic Republic need are senators. Star Wars is more than just, battles in space, battles on land, battles in the air. It's still battles political, right? Political fights, political struggles, and you're missing great opportunity to include some great senators. Jar Jar Binks would be phenomenal as a senator, especially if you were to introduce Chancellor Palpatine, right? Think about that. Chancellor Palpatine, Jar Jar Binks having synergy together. That sounds crazy. That sounds stupid. But at the same time, it would be phenomenal. It would be so cool. And it would just be real. I just think it would be awesome. If they introduce Palpatine, if they introduce Jar Jar, that would be great. But they could also introduce Separatist senators. Give us a character who is like unto Wat Tambor. Maybe not, preferably not as dominant as Wat, because then if you have another character like unto Wat Tambor who's as good, then, you're missing, why get Wat? But give us someone like Rex Bonteri, who is okay, who would be an interesting addition if what you're doing is creating kind of a backup B team. Now, I know that it doesn't make sense to spend a lot of time and effort to focus on B team style characters. And I think that it would be awesome to have senators on both sides that act in a Wat Tambor C-3PO kind of Yoda-esque or Hermit Yoda-esque way where they support, where they're interesting, they build different, I don't know, I just think that it'd be really fascinating and really cool. Additionally, there are two characters that I mentioned this time last year in my What the Galactic Republic Needs. We need two specific characters, Quinlan Voss, who would be both Jedi and Separatist. Now, for those of you who don't know, if you've not read Jedi Fallen, it's the Asajj Ventress story with Quinlan Voss. Very interesting. Asajj Ventress and Quinlan work together to assassinate Count Dooku. It kind of goes astray, and Quinlan falls to the dark side. And he actually becomes a Separatist general. But he is a very powerful Separatist general for a time. And it would be interesting to have a Jedi who is also a Separatist that could intermix, who would be both light side and dark side. I think that would be fascinating. I have wanted someone who goes both ways for some time, and that would be freaking cool. It would be awesome to also see an Asajj Ventress bounty hunter. Huge loss for the game to not have that added. But I don't know, guys. These are just the things that I would still love to see added to Clone Wars. I absolutely hope that they are not done with Clone Wars content. They did say that there were marquees still coming out, so hopefully we are going to be getting some marquees for some of these Clone Wars characters that we may be using later on when they revisit, maybe when Season 7 of Clone Wars comes out. I don't know. What do you guys think? Check out the blog post from Ghost Scotty that really goes into depth about some of the missed opportunities if they are really going away from Star Wars Clone Wars content. If you feel like supporting the channel, there are 2 links in the section below. Check out a free Audible account. You get 2 free books. The story of Quinlan Voss and Nostalgia of Interest is hands down one of the best story arcs in Star Wars Clone Wars. It was going to be part of Season 7 before it was cut, and then they just turned it into a book, and it is great, guys. Check out 2 free audiobooks. Try it for a month. Cancel it within a month. You still help the channel. This has been Thaddeus. Like, subscribe, share. Let me know what you think. Are you ready to move on from Clone Wars content? Because I know that I am not. Like, subscribe, share, and as always, my friends, smile and stay nerdy.